Hi, so just a little update from me and our house and how we're getting on. So this is the living room. Steve's had chased in some sockets, plasterboarded this wall and plasterboarded the ceiling, I think, the last time that we had done a little video. But since that video, we've had our new sofas delivered, which is a lovely, like a dark teal, sort of navy dark teal sofa, L-shaped sofa, and it's a 1930s inspired design, Art Deco inspired design, or 1920s, 1930s, and it's a lovely sort of velvet. It's really lovely. It was Sofology, and yeah, we're really pleased with it. And then we got also an armchair from the same collection. Steve likes to sit in the window here, and a footstool which opens up, which is quite good. A little bit of storage, although it's been put back the wrong way. Can't open it now. There we go. So just a little bit extra storage in there. What else have we been doing? So Steve's done some wall sockets. So you can see he's chased around here. So one of them doesn't look like it's got a socket, but actually that goes outside. And then the outside, underneath this windowsill on the outside, is an outside socket, so that we'll be able to put our Christmas lights on and plug them straight into the wall there. We'll also, if Steve's jet washing the cars, then he'll be able to just plug that straight into electricity there. So it should be really handy to have a socket outside like that out the front. And then there's another socket there, and he's also chased out and put in the boxes for the TV that's going to be wall-mounted TV behind here. And then there's also, he did one that's behind this unit that will be for the electric fire to be plugged into. So he did that, and he's also chased out a socket for the light switch. So the light switch was on that wall there, and now it's going to be over here. Now you can see the height difference. That socket is actually very high, but also the new legislation means that you have to have it at this height. So if somebody was in a wheelchair, they would still be able to reach it. Same for the sockets. The sockets are actually quite far up the wall, but again, this is to do with current safety measures. They have to be so far from the corner of a room. They can't be any nearer to the corner. That's near. And they have to be so far off the ground. So we've made sure that we stayed within the recommendations. And then you can also see Steve has done a new door frame here. So now it is a metric shaped and sized door frame. So when we come to buying a door for it, it'll be much easier to get off the shelf. We won't have to do lots of planing and things like that. So he's done that. You can see here we've lost some of the plaster. So when he took off the other door frame, some of the plaster just came away loose. You can see there's cracks all the way up that wall. But the bottom here, when he started, I don't know how that came about, that just started coming off. I don't know if it was the vibrations of doing further up. It was already loose and that just sort of came away. So he will have to do what he's done here, which is make up some of the plaster and just fill in that area. We are having the whole room skimmed anyway, but obviously that is more than a bit of a skim. So he'll do the underneath layer to that one. A bit like he has here, where you can see these were the two wall lights were on that wall there. He filled those in, and again he did that one up there, so it'll be the same thing. And he did a bit of a patch up around the windowsills where he did the new windowsills going around. So yeah, it's coming along nicely. Really, to think that we're not far off plastering the room now, so that's quite exciting. To think about that. There's nothing more happened to this built in. Probably the next thing will be, once we've plastered, we'll also probably caulk it and paint this and paint the whole room. And then we also need to put some lighting in. At the moment, we've just got this standing lamp in the corner, but obviously we'll need some lighting. We'll have one pendant light coming down of some sort. We haven't exactly decided yet. And then we'll also get some probably Roman blinds. I don't like slatty blinds because they're just dust collectors. They look lovely, but they are dust collectors. So I'm going to have some sort of fabric let down roller blinds, Roman blinds. So we're going to have those, a big long one there, and then two little ones, and do the same on the other side. And then something similar upstairs in the girls' room. And we are going to eventually carpet this room. Oh, I've got 2 new little side tables as well. We are eventually going to carpet this room, but in the meantime, we'll do that probably like really towards the very end when the extension's done, etc. So in the meantime, I will buy a big rug that will go down here. I've been looking already, but I can't find exactly what I want in stock. So yeah, some sort of big beigey patterned sort of slightly more forgiving thing probably. And I'll take you upstairs and you can see a little bit what he's been doing upstairs. He's also done a switch here in the hallway, double switch. I forgot that's probably why the plaster fell off the other side. I couldn't remember what had loosened it on the other side, but probably the vibrations from this side of drilling through that downward one. But that's a double socket. So we'll probably have a little console table. We won't have this as a coat area in the future because we'll have an understair cupboard, which will be where the back of the kitchen currently is. And then he's also obviously done this door frame here from the other side, you can see. There's no point doing the other door frames because one will be a big part of the build and the other one is going to disappear. It won't exist anymore. So that's quite good. He's also done a couple upstairs, which I'll show you now. So here are 2 new door frames. So going into what will be Imogen's bedroom, what we're using currently as our bedroom. And then what is the girls' bedroom now, which will eventually just be Sophia's bedroom. So 2 new frames there. Not easy because he had to do things like, can you see this side? The frame's very close to the wall, so we had to do a little trim down and things. So he's done really well, and he had to do the same thing on this side because, as you can see, this area here is angled between the 2 door frames. If I go down to the bottom, you might be able to see better, so it's not a right angle there. So he had to sort of fiddle around with them, you know, but I think he's done a really good job. And actually what's really nice is they are actually higher the way he's done them. You can see the bathroom how it currently is actually much lower. So, and the door frame detail is actually much nicer. That this one's got a lot more detail to it than this one's actually much simpler. So actually I prefer the new one, and when it's painted it will look very traditional anyway, so obviously we're not going to keep it this knotty pine, it will be painted white. So Steve has been in here doing boxing in the steel work. That's in our bedroom, so that's quite nice. And behind that he poked up a load of rock wool, so it's well insulated in that area now as well. So he had to sort of do wooden battens inside the steel for you to attach the plasterboard to, and then the same thing on the other side of the steel, which is actually quite difficult for him to get in and make the wood pieces and access it, but he did it. It was a bit of a fiddly job, but he did it. And we've decided for this room we may have the whole thing plastered and skimmed and just sort of ignore this area with the tank, because there's nothing we can do about the tank. We just have to live with it until we do the new heating system and the new boiler and everything is new. Once the extension's been built, then we can get rid of this and it will be a built-in wardrobe or a freestanding but very large wardrobe in that area anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to plaster around it and up to it, and we'll paint the rest of the room just like white, just so it's nice for the meantime. We're going to do the sockets, new sockets in this room, and we're also we're going to do the sockets in this room. So you had seen that Steve had plasterboarded this room. He's now plasterboarded also where the steel was. So this in this room we were able to put the steel up in the rafters. So, but we had a hole through to the attic. Obviously they had to poke a hole through the ceiling to put the steel in. So it was absolutely fine in the summer, but just recently as the temperatures dropped, it's made the girls' bedroom really quite cold at night. So we've just sealed that up as a quick sort of thing. We need to get this bit sealed up, but we are planning to do the same as we did in the living room and plasterboard all the way along together. So I'm help Steve do that, and then we'll have this whole room skimmed and painted. I thought I'd chosen the colour for this room, but I've actually saw a nice colour in Dunelm the other day. Doesn't really come out very well in this picture, so we were going to go for Pashmina, which looks very grey in this, and it's not coming out very well actually, the colouring. Maybe let's go and look at, oh yeah, this side's a bit better, you can see a little bit more. So these are the all the colours together. I think I'd shown you before, but this is the new one here, the done-on one. It's just like a sticker colour, so it's not coming in a pot, and that's called Rosewater. Yeah, so it's actually a slightly warmer than the pashmina, so I think I might go for that one. Actually, I quite like it. I think it might be exactly what I was looking for. But what's quite nice about those ones is they're peelable, so you can move them. Let's see, I'll show you. Well, apparently are. Probably ruin my nails doing this. Yeah, it's coming off. Let's move it into the light and see what it looks like in a brighter area. Well, it doesn't look very bright the way the sun is here. Maybe better this way. That might be better. See against the pashmina. There. So yeah, you can see the pashmina is much, the circular one below is a little bit more on the grey scale. This one's slightly warmer, so I think that might be better. Because these rooms, like, as I'm showing you, they can be really bright. It's because the sun moves around this house, can be really bright, and then they can also be quite dark as well when the sun's coming in, streaming in from a different direction. So at the moment, this room's quite dark at the moment, so I think that the grey might be a bit too cool, whereas this warmer one might lift the colour in the room a little bit. So we are getting there slowly. This room, so we need to finish plasterboarding this room, and then we need to put new sockets in here. I've brought in this standing lamp that we had in the house before anyway. We're going to use, because downstairs we're using just a standing lamp at the moment while we're waiting, since we've taken out the ceiling lights. And we will, obviously we plasterboard over this, we'll have to remove the lighting here. So until we get an electrician in and do all of that final and connecting up, we won't be able to, won't have the ceiling lights. So we'll have to use this. It'll be our main source of light for the bedroom, and there'll be one downstairs in the living room we're currently using, but that's fine. We don't really, this is new actually as well. We bought this, it's like a wall thing, so you'd actually screw it onto the wall. You can see that it's got like a little bits there. So it's like a nice gold, and then let me move that and you can see. And then these are actually marble, so it's actually quite nice. And we just thought we can put like decorative things and it will go in their room. It will look quite nice. I think we're doing like a blush pink, gold and white theme in here, so that should all go in quite nicely. But yeah, that's where we're up to. Yeah, it's coming along nicely, and when we plaster it, we've got the plastering done, we can start putting paint on the walls. It's going to feel so different in these rooms. Feel more like a house than a building site. But, it's fine. We've still got lovely beds and lovely sofas, and we've been absolutely fine. It's just the floors and things that aren't so nice. And we bought some cheap rugs when we first moved in just to tide us over, and they're really looking tired because obviously they're in a building site and they're getting dusty and dirty and things. But, yeah, we'll have all nice new flooring, but probably right at the very end. But that's just a little update. All right, bye.